It's been a while since I made a video about lead generation. Now there's lots of people on YouTube that make videos about lead generation for realtors, wholesalers, salespeople, and anyone else in the world who has to sell a product or a service. But today's video isn't about just generating leads. In fact, it's actually about what to do if the leads you're trying to generate aren't reaching back to you. There's a million videos on YouTube alone about how to pull lists, sort lists, put them into a dialer, how to use scripts effectively, how to do mass mailing campaigns, how to search for distressed sellers, driving for dollars, how to find probate lists, searching county property tax records for delinquent taxpayers. You name it, there's a video out there about it. But what do you do when the leads aren't calling you back? That's what we're gonna get into today. I'm Mike, welcome to my channel. If you're new here, please consider subscribing and hitting that like button, as it really helps my channel get in front of new eyes here on YouTube. Be sure to stick around to the end, where I'll share how you can get this free bonus PDF to help you troubleshoot your lead generation business. So real estate prospecting is the art of generating new real estate clients through active outreach and outbound communication. Rather than waiting for the phone to ring, a real estate prospector reaches out to potential clients via phone, text message, mailing, or door knocking to try to generate new leads. Most agents dread the idea of prospecting. After all, they've been conditioned to think that cold calling and outreach is just far too humiliating to bear. But in reality, learning how to prospect effectively can be one of the most rewarding things that a real estate person can do. And without a doubt, it's one of the best ways to generate consistent leads. But unlike just buying leads, prospecting for leads takes time and dedication day in and day out. A lot of people aren't willing to put in the hard work, but it has been proven that if you do put in that hard work, even as little as 90 minutes a day, looking forward 6 months into your career, you will have a completely different business model based on the hard work that you put into today. If you feel like your real estate prospecting needs to level up, then stick around for this video, as I'm gonna drop some pro tips for you. Number one is learning the art and science of prospecting letters. Now there's a reason I put this tip first. The prospecting letter serves many purposes when you put that in the mail. The first is it conveys a lot of information about you and your service. For example, if you conducted a CMA for your neighborhood and you want to get that mailer out there and let people know in that neighborhood that you're the informed agent who knows about that neighborhood and the go-to guy, you could put a CMA on a prospecting letter and mail it out to everybody in that neighborhood. Texting is too informal off the bat, but a good cold call asking if they received your prospecting letter that you mailed out is a great way to have a warm introduction. And if they have received the letter, then they're already gonna know who you are. It's a great way to introduce yourself to your prospecting audience with a non-confrontational letter. Don't forget to track your communication. Even the best handwritten prospecting letter sent out, if it's not followed up with a phone call or several phone calls to make sure that they got it, and if they are interested at some level, it will fall flat on its face if you don't do that work. You're gonna need a professional CRM to start managing these conversations and lead flow each and every month. Otherwise, you'll get overwhelmed and you'll lose track of where people are at. Pro tip number two, make sure your real estate prospecting decisions are based on data, not on comfort. Guys, in life and in business, the person who utilizes the best data at the end of the day effectively is going to win. You should take the data-driven approach in your prospecting and lead generation business as well. When you're real estate prospecting, make sure you're tracking your progress and efforts daily. If there's a particular strategy that works very well with your prospects, make sure to leverage into that strategy and keep applying it and keep track. Pro tip number three, remember that you're providing value to your community. One of the biggest complaints we hear from brand new agents is that they don't want to bother anybody. But don't take that mindset approach. We get it, no one wants to be seen as a sleazy salesman, but you're providing a value to the community, and the only way to get your message out is to knock on doors and get in people's faces to let them know who you are and what service you provide. I mean, I'm sure we've all heard the first-time homebuyer who, after a conversation with you, has said, I had no idea that I could do that. See, a lot of people are very uninformed, so don't assume that they are informed. Don't assume that they are the expert. Assume and show them that you're the expert, and then win their trust. And a great way to do this is through a neighborhood-specific website, and then pass that flyer out and start calling people, let them know about the neighborhood website and all the details and facts and resources that are available to them by visiting your website. Pro tip number four, make your weekly goals about work, but your long-term goals about your results. When you're prospecting for leads, you're not waiting for the phone to ring, you're going through lists and cold calling people and trying to set appointments. Obviously, many of these people aren't gonna answer, or if they do answer, they may not be ready today. It could be months out, maybe even a year or two out. So with that being said, there's definitely a certain amount of nurturing required. And overnight success is very unlikely in the cold calling strategy. So you're going to have a long-term plan where you want to say 6 months from now, I want to close 4 to 6 deals. and at a certain gross commission percentage, that's going to yield me how much money. And then divide that by your hourly work. So if you work 90 minutes, that's an hour and a half a day, and do the math and you can figure out what your dollar per hour value is when you sit down and do your cold calling and prospecting. Pro tip number 5, use technology to improve your prospecting efficiency. Just a few short years back, prospecting for real estate leads involved a ton of grunt work. Fortunately today, there is a ton of technology out there and tools available to us that do the heavy lifting that we don't want to do. You can literally download a list in Excel, you can put that list into a Word, and you can set it up to where it prints labels, print out the labels, or you can even outsource this and send it to a third-party company. They'll design your mailers for you, or you can pick a template, you send them your Excel spreadsheet, they'll mail merge it and put all the labels on it and send everything out for you. So yeah, it costs a little bit more money to do it way, but what do you want to spend your time doing? $5 an hour admin tasks? Or do you want to spend your time doing $300 an hour cold calling prospecting tasks? You decide. Pro tip number 6, you can sponsor seasonal, family-friendly neighborhood giveaways. Guys, this comes as no surprise. People love free stuff. So you can maybe put something together for Thanksgiving, or put something together for Memorial Day, or 4th of July, or Halloween. And you can have little giveaways for the kids, but we'll get the parents involved. However, no matter how you choose to do it, each giveaway comes with a handshake, an exchange of getting their information, and a call to action from you, letting them know that you're the real estate expert in their neighborhood. Pro tip number 7, create a lead generating website. Real estate lead generating is easier if people are already familiar and seeing who you are and what you do. The best way to go about doing this is through a website. By creating a website that will provide visitors with information about buying or selling in your community, an opportunity to search for properties listed for sale, and a way to contact you with questions, you are setting yourself up for easier conversations and a higher conversion rate when talking to these prospects. Pro tip number 8, follow relevant hashtags on social media and engage in one-on-one prospecting. Look, prospecting is ultimately about starting and cultivating a relationship with these people so that way they know, like, and trust you, and then will want to do business with you. Everyone's going to be a buyer or seller. It's just a question of whether they are now or not. So if you develop that rapport and build a relationship with over time and provide them value, hopefully when their decision comes to maybe buy or sell, they'll think of you because you'll be top of mind. Pro tip number 9. Dedicate 90 minutes a day to prospecting. Any successful real estate agent will tell you that your prospecting efforts are only as good as they are consistent. Prospecting is a lot of work and it takes a lot of time, but the rewards can be monumental if you do it consistently and get good at what you do. If you have to make a calendar event out of it, then do that. Block out 90 minutes in the morning. Wake up, work out for half hour, prospect for 90 minutes, then shower and get ready for your day. Pro tip number 10. Call expireds every single day. Expired listings are a great source of prospects for real estate agents. Why? Because they already listed with an agent, so you know they're not against it. For whatever reason, it didn't sell. It's your job to call and find out why and prove and convince that seller that you can do a better job than their prior agent and get that listing. Plain and simple. Do the research on the property beforehand so that way you can answer the tough questions because they're probably going to have their brick wall up and you're going to have to overcome some objections. So prepare and then go in and be confident. Pro tip number 11, call FSBOs every single day. FSBOs are a fantastic lead source because those people have already shown that they want to sell too. They just don't want to use an agent because they feel that they can sell it and get more money on their own, or they just don't want to pay agent commissions. Find out what that objection is and handle it. 90% of FSBO sellers end up listing with an agent within 6 months. So it may be a waiting game, but plant that seed now, get them a packet, get over there, film a virtual tour, leave them with your packet, and then start following up with them and keep showing them that you're not only consistent, but you provide value. And then when they say, oh, well, why do you keep calling me? Be like, well, I'm gonna be exactly like this when I'm looking for a buyer for your house because I'm always prospecting. I never take no for an answer. Show them that you have a backbone. They'll probably respect it. Pro tip number 12, stop fearing the word no. On average, it takes 209 phone calls for a real estate agent prospecting a neighborhood to get a yes. So that means that you should, if you make 420 calls, you'll get 2 appointments. With those numbers, it can be daunting to continue pressing on, but you have to be consistent, and as you call and get better and hear the same objections over and over, you will get better at handling them. It's kind of like a sword. You sharpen your sword, you sharpen your tools in your tool belt, and you're gonna get better and have the right tool quickly available to handle those objections when they pop up. Pro tip number 13, get some face-to-face time with your real estate prospects. If real estate prospecting is about developing a relationship with these prospects, then getting some face-to-face time should be your ultimate goal. Just shaking hands with someone you want to do business with and some good old-fashioned eye contact can really go a long way in instilling trust and value in someone else's opinion about you and your service and what you do. Keep your face in front of the current decision maker, and if that changes and there's a new decision maker, you have to put in the effort to meet them and get to know them as well. People need to see your face and shake your hand to truly establish a relationship, so that way you become their go-to real estate resource. Pro tip number 14. We are almost done, guys. Pro tip number 14, use video marketing. Prospecting letters work great, but you know what works better? Video. Recording video of you out touring properties and with clients and feedback from clients at closing tables. Anything that you can record that can show people on a day-to-day basis what you do as an agent, the value that you provide to a community, and who you are as a person on and off the court will help people see that you're a real person and that you do real things and that you bring real value. And that will help them. They'll reach out to you with questions about real estate and then just take it from there. Pro tip number 15, create Facebook groups that your prospects will flock to. Guys, you have to provide some value here. So what you want to do is create a Facebook group that will attract the type of people you're looking to do business with. So if you want to attract contractors, then you need to have some rehab projects and get those people involved, so that way you can build a database and a network of real estate contractors. If you're looking for sellers, then you need to have some sales under your belt, start posting all that stuff and letting people know that you can sell their house for top dollar in a shortest amount of time and get things done for them. So you want to build a group that attracts the people that you're looking to do business with. It will take some time, but much like a train, it'll start off really slow, but eventually it will pick up some momentum and then it can't be stopped. You can piggyback off other groups and go through them and start reaching out to people. Just don't be too spammy because they will block you out. That will do it for the list, guys. Thanks for sticking around. This is Mike G, and I hope you got some value out of this video. Please go ahead and comment, like, and subscribe, and I will see you on the next one.